All right, everyone. Hello and good evening. Welcome to Area 51 Racing League. Tonight we've got the Cup Series here at Dover, scheduled distance 100 laps. So definitely want to thank you all for joining us here at Green White Checkered TV. So obviously got to go over point standings entering tonight's event. So as you can see, Larry Yingling still has a solid points lead there, 59 points over the second place, which is it's a really good battle for second place as well. I'll say Larry he's been on a tear here, as you can see. 5 wins in his 10 starts and then 10 top 5, so he's got top 5s in every start, so he's going to try to continue that, of course, as the season's winding down here just after tonight. One more to go, but as like we mentioned, that close battle for second place between Chad Wilkes, Maxwell Caldwell, only 3 points between the two of them. And then you got Brendan Passalacqua, only 12 points out of that second position, and then just a little further out is the David Payton there. But definitely still in striking distance to get into that top 2 or 3 position where he is currently in 5th. And 6th through 10th, we've got Andrew Pleshy, Jim Brooks, Robbie Richards, Jack Walls, and Todd Merkel. So drivers finishing up their qualifying laps right now. And it's going to be an interesting one tonight. We've talked to a few of the drivers during practice, and they're saying even with the short practice that they had, every lap they could feel the track just changing as they were going around. So it's going to be something to keep an eye on here this evening. So we're going to pull up our starting grid for the race this evening. Going to get the pole position is going to be that 94 Maxwell Caldwell. It's going to give him that bonus point that's going to help him move that little bit forward, close that gap for that second place in the points position. In second is Andrew Pleshy. Third, Larry Yingling. In fourth is Brendan Passalacqua. Fifth is Chad Wilkes. Sixth, David Payton. Seventh, James Ledford. And in eighth is Bud Steele. So like we talked about in that points battle, so you've got Maxwell right there, Brandon, Chad, and David. So you've got pretty much all those contenders all right here together, starting up front here tonight. And then 17th through 20th, you have Jim Brooks, Nicholas Winook, John Brill, and Paul Patterson. So I had a chance to chat with a couple of the drivers, and they were mentioning and say this is going to be definitely a bit of a strategy race here tonight. Just how aggressive you want to be early on, because you can definitely kind of get going aggressive early and set sail, but then if you do that, it really opens you up for getting getting eaten up as your tires wear off. This is a very difficult track to race at. Especially on the exit of turn 2, turn 2s and turn 4. Seems like turn 2 has been more of the trouble spot just based on what I was seeing there in practice. As you see the field starting to roll out now. Because Dover's a very different track the way you race this track, where basically you kind of drop down into the turns and you bounce out of them on the exit. And so just that, especially on the exit, when you kind of bounce out of the turn, that's really going to, you're going to lose that rear grip. And so that's where you're going to see these cars step out from underneath them. And I think that's going to be really the trouble spot for some of these cars, is just trying to get that, trying to get the power down on the exit of these turns, because with this track being 1 mile in length, they are running the low downforce, high horsepower package. So these guys are being running about 750 or so horsepower, I believe. And I'm saying it's just going to make it that much more challenging for these drivers to try to wrangle these things around this 1 mile track here tonight. So it's deemed a monster mile. Saying there's going to be a reason for it. I'm sure we're going to wind up seeing here this evening. As you see the pace truck's pulling off now. Going to put it into the hands of our front row of Maxwell Caldwell and Andrew Pleshy. And again, this is going to be the first trick too, is getting the power down on this restart. It is easy to spin the tires here, even on brand new tires. As the green flag flies, you can see it looks like a power down nicely. Now the first step, of course, is trying to get through turns 1 and 2 cleanly. And it looks like Maxwell's been onto the lead, but you can see Larry Yingling wasting no time trying to see if he can put some pressure on. Already to the inside of the A2, you see Maxwell protects the inside line through 3 and 4. He looks like he will get this first lap led here. Larry, however, is completely hounding that number 94 car. You see kind of peeking to the top. Looks like he's going to try to cut underneath, maybe on the exit. A good exit out. Maxwell holding solid here early on. A little bit of movement further back there was, let's say, it looked like Michael Spell, Bud Steele were all in a little bit of a, have almost a little bit of a moment there, but looks like they've got everything settled out here pretty nicely early on. As we went to go look at that, Larry Yingling has just snuck around that 94 of Maxwell Caldwell. He's going to take over the top spot for the race here as we start lap number 3, about to complete 3 and get on to lap number 4 here already. So this is going to be that short run versus long run pace. As I said, we know Larry is really good at managing his tires and having really good long run pace. So we'll have to see kind of what the strategy is going to be, how to manage the tires, the right front and the right rear. Of course, those are going to be the 2 critical ones. Just if you're too aggressive on the entry, sliding the tires, that's going to really hurt your right front. However, if you're getting too aggressive on the throttle on exit and you got the back end stepping out of it, that's of course going to start damaging that right rear tire. So that's going to be something we're going to see, maybe comers and goers, and you can see how they race the track here if they start washing up or things of that nature. So definitely going to be keeping an eye on that tonight. So definitely one driver I do want to mention here in the field this evening. Happy to see him back. He's at 13 and Ryan Kelly. He's missed a few races just the last day. I think some stuff going on just in the real world for him, so hasn't been able to be on track. We kind of regard Ryan Kelly. He's always kind of Mr. Long Run. So he started in the 14 positions up to 12th or 10th, I should say, already. So we're going to definitely keep an eye on him and see what his long-term pace is compared to these guys around. Just that seems to be really what his strong suit is. I believe, if I'm not mistaken as well, I think Dover was one of his preferred tracks as well here. Good battle here for the 4th position between Andrew Pleshy, Chad Wilkes and Brendan Pascalago. Andrew Pleshy's right in front of them. You see everybody's still running pretty similar lines here. So you see Andrew there get loose off of turn number 2, and that's what we talked about, that little snap loose that you'll get when you bounce out of the exit of those turns. So that's where you're saying, so slides like that, those are going to start burning that right rear tire just a little bit extra. So it's going to add a little bit of temperature with that as well. So that's where you have to really start being careful early on. Jack Walls, he keeps taking the peek from the inside, trying to get around that 6 of Bud Steele here. Hasn't quite been able to do so. You can see he gets to the inside there, just can't quite go. You see actually Bud's going to make contact with the outside wall. We got trouble on the front stretch here. Bud Steele trying to keep it pinned to the inside. He's going to spin it around. I think that may have included a couple others here. Actually, looks like Jack got through that as well, so it may have actually been not as bad as I was suspecting. Oh, okay, yeah, no, I thought I saw another car involved. It was Robbie Richards. He got caught up in that one. He definitely took a lick on that one. Let's go back and see exactly what happened there. So it looked like it was just, unfortunately, a little bit of contact between the two of them coming out of turn number 4 here. So we'll watch the 6 of Bud Steele. And I think what we're going to see is he's going to get a little tight on the exit running that top side. I think you'll see him just catch the outside wall here as he comes off of turn number 4. Yeah, right there, just catches it, and unfortunately that's going to send him across the path. Almost has it safe. You see a little bit of contact with 83 of Jack Walls, nothing too bad. Then unfortunately Robbie Richards, just wrong place, wrong time, and so he just gets hit in that right rear quarter panel. And you can see he tries to hang on to it, but at that point he's just, that car's already too far gone. And it helps if I turn my replay back on again. Sorry, guys. There we go. So you can see here we got the 6 of Bud Steele. He's running up top, just again kisses the wall a little bit, and he's going to bounce off of it and then come into the 83 of Jack Walls just a little bit. Jack's going to get away with that pretty safely, I feel like. But unfortunately, Robbie Richards just wrong place, wrong time here. And so that's where, again, you see the contact between the two of them. And you see Robbie try to see if he could catch it, but unfortunately, he's just, at this point, he's just along for the ride. And you can see just loops around, heavy contact here with the outside wall. But you see Corey Lane, really good avoidance there for him in the 10 car. And you see Jim Brooks, just barely. Actually, it looks like Jim may have got a little bit of contact from the back. I think it looks like maybe this 33 Nicholas Winook may have got into him a little bit of rear damage. I think he might get away with that pretty safely. And you see the rest of the field here trying to get it back down to avoid avoid that number 12 cars. Unfortunately, Dwight Plush catches the wall just a little bit, trying to avoid it as well. So I'm going to put us back under caution. As you can see, Robbie has used the faster pair there. And I was going to say Roy Grandy's going to use some pit strategy and stay out, but he just looks like he grabbed a lap lead and he hits the pits now as well. So unfortunately, they missed a little bit of on the pit stop cycle of things. However, not much has changed up front. Say everybody went ahead and took 4 tires and fuel, so no real strategy at the call there for these drivers. Say Roy Grandy is in the pits getting service to his machine. So it looks like everybody's still holding on to the lead lap as they run here. So looking at the pit stop times, Jim Brooks did have a little bit of a longer stop, 25 seconds. So I think that was that damage repair we saw to the back of that 76 machine. But I think he's going to be not too worse for wear overall with that one. So you definitely want to save that fast repair for later on in this event. All right, so the field coming through the backstretch again is now in the hands of Larry Yingling as our race leader. And so now, different than the initial start, is that 67 car. Once the pace car leaves the racing surface, Larry has control of when he wants to go. And I think that could play a big role in the cars behind him, because I think earlier he goes, the easier chance that these drivers are going to have to be able to get going with him. So we'll wait and see what his strategy is going to be here as he comes out of 4. And yet he's going to go a little early here. And I think that's actually going to help these drivers be able to get through the gears a little bit as well. Larry's going to take the lead here in turn 1. Off turn 2, you can see everybody pretty much already going single file pretty early. I saw in the backstretch. I think that may have been, yeah, it was Michael Spell. Somehow hung on to it. Actually, doesn't look like any damage to that car, so I think it just got big loose there. So great job by Michael hanging on to that 88 machine. It's like keeping that thing in one piece. See Ryan Kelly still working his way a little bit slowly but surely, working his way forward. He's now up into that 7th position from the 14th starting spot, so great start for him. So Jack Wall is trying to follow suit as well. Jack started in 15th, and he is up into 9th now. So those two definitely slowly but surely working their way forward. Also, Nicholas Winook in the 33. He's gone from 18th to 11th, so +7 for him. So definitely some big climbers here early on in this race. Front things still holding pretty steady here. We do see, looks like Jack Walls is starting to close that gap on that Todd Merkel, also bringing David Payton right there with him as well. So these guys starting to get close here for this is running for the 8th, 9th, and 10th positions. And these drivers already see Jack just take a peek inside. Couldn't quite get his nose underneath there, so he's going to try to recoup and get another attempt here. But right now, say Todd Merkel trying to hold that position here early on. Unfortunately, I just noticed that the 18 Roy Grandy, he's had to make looks like some pit stops under the green flag, so I think he may have had a pit penalty, possibly pitting after the pits were closed. Just the way the iRacing is, if you don't pit before you get the 1 to go, and then you do pit on that 1 to go, say it serves you gives you a penalty for entering their closed pits. Unfortunately, that's put the 18 in a really bad spot here, as he's now 3 laps down, right on the edge of going 4 down. I see the 44 Dwight Plush hitting the pit road here. It looks like he has some pretty heavy right side damage to that car, so definitely made contact with the wall, but able to keep it pointed straight to avoid a caution. So Dwight's going to get some service done to his car, which unfortunately as well is going to start knocking him down a couple of laps here as well. Because there's not much you can do with a track like this as fast as it is. You see Brandon Pastelacqua, he's going to get around Andrew Plushy. That's going to be for the 3rd position here. So move Brandon now up to that 3rd spot from his 4th starting position. But again, though, say this is still early on the 2nd run here after that first yellow. So you just got to make sure you don't overuse those tires here too early. I'll see James Leffler trying to take a look underneath 17 and Chad Wilkes. Can't quite get it done there. Chad's going to hold on to that spot in the 5th position. Also, I mentioned Robbie Richards. He was the one that took the biggest hit of everybody in that first caution there, and he's already worked his way back up into that 11th position. So really good restart for Robbie, working his way forward here quickly and early. So hopefully he's able to say the only thing unfortunately for Robbie is he's used his fast repair. So at this point he's got to keep this car clean to the end. So he's unfortunately used that one fast repair that these drivers do have, just in case for situations exactly like what happened to that 12th car. Getting caught up in an incident. I'll say nothing of his own doing, just was in the wrong spot, wrong time. So he's making the most of it here, though, as he's worked himself up back into that 11th position. So right now up front, you can see got about a 4-car battle here with the for our top 4 drivers here. Then about a second and a half back to that 17 of Chad Wilkes, and you can see actually I think we. So somebody's losing in that group that was there earlier. Oh, it was the 48 of James Leffler. Looks like he may have had a moment. So he's lost 2 spots to Ryan Kelly and Todd Merkel. So unfortunately moved James back from the 6th position back to 8th. And that's going to bring Ryan Kelly now up into that 6th position from his 14th starting spot. A little bit, see Jack Wallace, he's working over the 38 of David Payne, or actually I think it's David Payne trying to work over Jack Wallace, trying to work the top side here as he Robbie Richards. So he's going to try to fill that gap and see if he can work over the 38 as well. That's one of those things where you say you try to you make a move on somebody and then say they're going to try to turn, someone behind is going to try to make that move on you, so you got to make sure you don't burn up too much momentum. Trying to fight for that position, because as I said, that puts yourself under attack as well. You can see it's really quickly brought that Nicholas Renault right into this mix as well. As the last time by, he was about 3 to 5 tenths quicker than these guys here battling for a position. Oh, looks like slight contact between 12 and the 38. They're entering 3. Both drivers hang on to it though. Definitely a big moment there for the 38 of David Payton. Again, he's still trying to work over that 83 of Jack Walls here. See David's working the top line here, and this is a track where the top can work. You see he's able to actually keep it up on the top. I just can't quite get the power down there, but he just about had the idea down perfectly there. Because what you can do is if you can get to the outside of that car, keep them pinned to the inside, they can't really get the throttle back down, and that'll actually hurt the inside car. But you can see right now, unfortunately, it looks like he's starting to struggle. It looks like that car is definitely getting tight for that 38 car, as we're just about 20 laps since their last pit stop here. So I think, unfortunately, David may have been pushing just a little too hard here. And also got to show, here's the difference of tires. Dwight Plush, we mentioned him having to make an unscheduled stop. He's only got about 10 ready tires, but you can just see the lap time out at 44 is making. Oh, as you see David Payton in the 38, he goes around on the backstretch. That's going to put us under caution. We'll go back and see exactly what happened. Same, but unfortunately, we saw kind of the tail end of that one, but on that 38 car. So let's go back and see. Looks like actually it's a little bit of net code, but I think also a little bit of contact possibly between the 76 and the 38. So try to get a better angle here. Yeah, so it was definitely on the net code side of things, but you can see, I think even without the net code, that 76 was going to, the 76 regardless was going to get into the back of the 38 car there. And say, unfortunately, this is Dover. It's kind of called a self-cleaning track. So you get contact, you're going to wind up back onto the inside wall. So you can see that's where that 38 has heavy contact with that inside wall, and so it spins it back out. But again, able to get back going here. A lot of damage to that car. What is going to happen here is it looks like Dwight Plush, he's going to get one of his laps back, which will put him back down to 2 laps down. Say now it's going to be decision time for Roy Grandy. Does he decide to pit, or does he take the wave around as well to try to keep pace with that 44 car? So So watch the pit stop battle here. It's going to be close between the top two. I think Larry just nosed out the 94 there, Maxwell Caldwell on the pit exit. So Larry's going to hang on to that lead here. You can see also looks like a good pit stop for that, again, that number 13, Ryan Kelly. Looks like he's going to cycle through up into that 5th position now, able to jump around that number 82 of Andrew Pleshy. Andrew definitely did not have a stop he was looking for. Most leaders were in the high 13s, low to mid 14 seconds. Unfortunately, Andrew had a 15.7 second pit stop, so he's going to have a chat with his pit crew there and tell him that he's going to need them to step it up a little bit if they want to have a chance to get that win tonight. It does look like Roy Grandy's going to stay out, so he's going to stay out here to try to get one of those two, or to get from 3 down to 2 down. Saying that's going to keep him on par with the 44 Dwight Plush, but the problem though for the 18 is going to be that the 44 is going to be pitting here with brand new tires, and so that's going to definitely put him at a disadvantage with his about 15 laps on his tires under green here. Alright, lights are off of the pace car. You can see Roy Grandy went ahead and took that wave around, so he's going to be back to 2 laps down as well. So now I'll say what's going to happen is he and the 44 Dwight Plush, they're going to be fighting for that lucky dog position should another caution come out. David Payne, he's hit the pits a couple of times in that 38 car. So I got to check to see if he went ahead and, yeah, it looks like he has not used his fast repair, as you can see. Still some damage to that 38 car, so he's opting to go ahead and try to get that damage fixed and save that fast repair for later on in the race. So that's going to cycle things back around to that 67 of Larry Yingling. We saw last time Larry went through turns, pretty much got going in turn 4 there. And I think that's going to benefit some of the drivers here if he does that again, because those restarts on the front straightaway, it's really easy for a tire spin to have happen. So we'll wait and see. Pace truck is in. Looks like Larry's going to wait a little longer this time. Still out of turn number 4 though. And you see he gets a pretty good start there. However, Maxwell's got a pretty good head of steam here. He's going to waste no time there to get right to the inside as soon as he gets the opportunity to though. And he's going to grab that second position with the 17 Chad Wilkes right on the back of him. And Andrew Plushy, he gets a great restart as well. And he's going to get actually now up into that 4th position. So lots of spot in the pits, but a good restart is going to move him back up into that 4th spot. So right now we're on lap 37.64 to go here. So we're already over a third of the distance for this race. Again, I'll say green flag lap times. They're running in the low, like 22, 23 second bracket here. On fresher tires, obviously lap time is definitely going to drop as the run goes on. Haven't had a long green flag run yet. Haven't got to where we had a green flag pit stop yet, but that's kind of just the nature of the beast of this track. It's definitely a very difficult one to wrap your head around. So I'd say it was kind of expected we would see probably at least a caution or 2 here. So, and again, you can see that the instance we've had, it's been nothing malicious, just unfortunate mistakes from drivers, and so that's just part of the racing that you see here at Dover. So saying Jack Walls in 83. He's worked his way back up now to the 7th position. So again, Ryan Kelly, Jack Walls, they're progressing up evenly from 6th to 14th, 7th to 15th for the two of them. As you can see, Ryan gets a little loose there off of turn number 4. However, keeps it pointing in the right direction, and saying Jack's going to keep following suit. And again, just got to shout out to Robbie Richards. He's worked his way back up into that top 10 in that number 12 car, as he was in that first incident through no fault of his own, but he's recovering very well here early on. Keeping an eye on lap times as well. So actually, fastest car last time by was the 30 of David Payton. So even that damage that he has, that's not affecting his car too much. He's still making good time right now in the 14th position, trying to work over that 90 of John Burlock. See if he's going to be able to peek to the inside here and grab that spot. So David's going to move back up into that 13th position here. But yeah, definitely say David starting to keep some good pace in that car again. Hopefully not being too aggressive too early, not abusing those tires, and also now this last time by 48 of James Ledford, he's the quickest car on track, and I think he's starting to catch that lead pack here in front of him. We're going to jump back to our leaders because they're starting to sneak away a little bit here. Top 2, they've distanced themselves from 3rd there of Chad Wilkes. And saying that we've seen this story before with Chad Wilkes. He doesn't really push his car too hard too early, and then that really gives him a lot of long run speed in that 17 car. So I'd be curious to see if that's going to happen again here tonight. Chad definitely has been one that I think has adjusted well to try to find that long run pace in that 17 car. So I'll say we'll keep an eye on his lap times as this run progresses. Again, we've only got 10 green flag laps since their last pit stop here. So say once we get to about 20-30 laps under a green flag run, I think that's where we'll really start to see that 17 car, see if that tire savings, if it comes into play for him. Oh, actually, looks like Larry. I say you see Larry's falling back now to 67. Say, I had him focused on 17 Chad Wilkes. Let's go back and see once things settle in here a little bit, because I say it's pretty close quartered right now. But I think something happened to Larry Yingling there that last time around. You can see that allowed Maxwell Caldwell to grab the lead here. So let's jump back a lap here and take a quick look. It looks like Maxwell had already gotten around him a lap or two earlier. Apologies for missing that on my side. So take a look. Oh, actually, Maxwell heavy contact to the outside wall. Larry actually quick reaction to avoid contact. And so that's actually where this all came about. And so what's going to happen now, as you can see, they've all kind of bunched up together here. As again, that 94 car has pretty severe right side damage to that car. He's still holding on strong here at the moment, but that damage definitely going to start playing a role in the overall pace for that car here. I'm suspecting that car's probably going to get a little tighter as this run goes on, just due to that damage. So this will put Maxwell kind of between a rock and a hard place on his pit decision once we do get to our pit stop cycle. As you can see, it gets tight off of turn number 3 and 4 there. Unfortunately, pushes Larry just a little bit wide. That's going to open the door for the 17 and Chad Wilkes. He's going to grab that second position now. So you can see Maxwell just doing all he can to kind of hang on to that car here at the moment. Still doing what he can to hold that position and keep the pace up. But you can see it's definitely starting to bring the field back to him with that right side damage. So I say we just crossed the halfway point of the race with 50 to go here. So again, as you see Chad Wilkes, he's starting to ramp the pressure up on that 94 car here for the lead. But again, as you see, he's going to take a dive into turn number 3. It looks like he's going to get the nose underneath here. See if he can get the power down, because again, we talked about the outside line. It's tight on the inside to hold the power down. You see Maxwell just right on the edge of the wall there. Got a little loose on exit, but able to hang on to it. It looks like here out of 4, though, that 17 is going to get the power down early and able to clear for that lead. And Larry, looks like now everybody's going to try to follow suit. Larry's going to try to get him through 3 and 4 here. And this is what you have to do at Dover. You're going to really clear him on the exit of the turn. You do not want to be side by side on the exit. If you can make the pass happen, you want to make it happen pretty much through 3 and 4, or 1 and 2, of course, and then be able to slide up to the very top off the exit. So this is going to cycle to Chad Wilkes. Now he's going to be up at point here. Larry Yingling now falls back in 2nd position. Say Maxwell still holding strong there in 3rd. I say now he's going to have pressure though from the 82 of Andrew Pileshi, and then right behind him that 13 of Brian Kelly. Brandon Pasalaco right there in 6th as well. Well, as you can see, Andrew gets loose off of 2, has to gather back up. And you can see how much time that cost him to the back of that 94 car. So I say that he's going to have to kind of regroup and try to chase back after that 94 here. Up on board with our race leader now of Chad Wilkes. You'll be able to say, what I'll do is I'm gonna be quiet here. You're just be able to listen to how they're having to kind of drop in and bounce out of these corners, so they might give a better idea of what they're going through. I hear from that 17 car as he comes up out of turns. You hear the revs kind of ramp up, and that's the traction loss I'm talking about. So they're having to just control that. As you can see, oh no, right in front of the leaders, contact between the 2 of them. They're going to try to hang on to there. You saw the 18. Say everybody's going to just about get cleared of it. Say Roy's going to jump into the pits there, probably not by design, but is going to get into the pits. So again, that's going to shuffle things up a little bit. Let's go back and look at that one more time. I think just got loose at a bad spot, and just trying to figure out where the drivers needed to go. So you can see the 18, he gets loose there. Chad Wilkes tries to react to it here, and then unfortunately just guesses wrong there. Keeps going to the inside. Actually looks like catches the rear end of the 18 while he was still trying to kind of get it gathered up there. And then from there on, you see the rest of the field here trying to make sure that they avoid him. Actually, good heads up there by Larry Yingling, just barely squeezing clear of that 18. You see Maxwell Caldwell. He's able to just sneak by on the top side. Oh, actually, you see the 82, Andrew Pileshi. He gets some pretty heavy contact to the back of the 18 car. So there is a couple cars that got some damage out of that whole cycle there. Again, somehow stayed green through all that. But you can see it really hurting Andrew Pileshi as he's starting to fall positions here. Just lost about 3 spots or 4 spots that last time by. So I think, unfortunately, Andrew Pileshi may have got the worst of it. So again, this track is starting to bite these drivers, as they also a little bit of nose damage to that 17 of Chad Wilkes. To say it doesn't look terrible, but it's definitely noticeable on the nose of that 17 machine. So a little bit of damage to his car as well. So right now, it's not the normal type of attrition that you would expect, but definitely a little bit of attrition nonetheless here from the 17 having some nose damage to the 94. Maxwell Caldwell, him getting to the outside wall a little earlier on. So again, though, so you see those 2 still hanging on strong. Now they're going to work over John Brillen. Again, you can see just the difficulty these drivers just trying to keep the power down here as we're about 30 laps into this run. You can see these cars definitely starting to really become ill handling. So right now the top 5 are all here grouped together, but with that near incident a few laps ago, that's really separated out these top 2 groups. So you can see the first 5 there. So now it cycles back to this 83 of Jack Walls. He's up into that 6th position. Right behind him is Robbie Richards there in 7th. And you've got Todd Merkel and Jim Burke there in 8th and 9th respectively. And again, David Payton still has that damage to his car. He was that last caution, unfortunate contact between him and the 76. Did not use the fast square. Oh, we are now under yellow. Looks like the 6 of Bud Steele may be the cause of it. So say see a few cars in the pits when the time this caution came out. So I'll just see if that's going to put them in a bad spot or not. So let's go see what happens to that 6 car that will bring us under this 3rd caution here. So as we watch Bud Steele here come out of turn number 2. So it just looks like it pushes on the exit, pushes and catches the outside wall. So we saw that a little earlier as well. But unfortunately tries to hang on to it, but just can't quite do it. You can see he's going to make heavy contact again with the inside wall. Again, we talked about this being a self-cleaning track. And so right here as that car is perpendicular to the track in front of the field there of Nicholas Winook. So that's going to be where the caution came out. Saying it's actually kind of honestly it was a little dangerous for Nicholas to go to the inside there with this being a self-cleaning track. Really the preferred place to be is stay up top because you kind of expect to see those cars drop to the inside. You see Maxwell just slightly overshot his pit stall. You also saw there he did use that fast repair here, so he's going to opt to keep the track position instead of trying to get the damage repaired manually. It looks like he's going to cycle out right outside the top 5 here, I believe. So I'll say that's going to get him through. Looks like in the, I think it's going to be the 6th position when it's all said and done. Looks like we had 2 drivers that stayed out under that for this first part of the caution, but I suspect we're going to see Michael Spall, John Brill most likely pit this time around. So we'll take a look also at the 17 Chad Wilkes. I want to take a look at the nose of that car, see if he went ahead and used the fast repair on it. See if he's, or if he still got the one in the bank here. Maybe thought that he didn't need to use it quite at this point of the race. It's hard to tell. Looks like he might still have a little bit of a right front crinkle on that car. I would suspect for though the 82 Andrew Pileshi. I'm going to take a look at his pit stop time, and yeah, 14.2. So I think Andrew went ahead and he looks like he's used his fast repair on that 82 machine as well. Actually, yeah, just got a really good look there just a second ago, and so yeah, that 17 still has the damage to the nose of his car. So he's still got the fast repair in store if he needs it, but at this point he's opted to stay out with it and also not to lose his track position there after he got through there with the lead after everything that was going on. Alright, so the running order is going to cycle here just a little bit through that cycle, so you can see lights are off of the pace truck. So we're going to be restarting here with 33 to go. We're going to get the screen flag, so pretty much the last third of the race here. So at this point, fuel's not going to be a question for any of these drivers. They'll be good to go to the end. Now it's just, again, it's going to be all about trying to kind of manage your tires and pace and then really be in contention when it really matters here at the end. So that's going to, I think, be the key for trying to get the win here tonight. Obviously, right now, I think if you're running in about that first 3 rows or so, that's going to be your best position to try to get these wins, because we've seen it's not easy to pass here. Really, these drivers have kind of just had to capitalize on mistakes from the field in front of them. So we'll keep an eye and see what's going on. Alright, pace truck is off. Now it's up to Chad Wilkes. He's going to be the, other than Larry Yingling, he's going to be the first one to have control over this restart. And it looks like he's going a little later here than Larry. And he's going to go right at the exit of turn number 4. As he gets a full restart there over at 67. He's going to have plenty of room here entering turn number 1. Looks like he's got a couple of car lengths there on the entry. Again, so it's going to be tempting here, just kind of, you're good to fuel to the end, so it's going to be kind of tempting just to kind of drop the hammer and go. But again, should we go green to the end, it's very, very possible if you go too hard too early, it's going to really bite these tires. So I think if you are Chad Wilkes, you're probably going to have to push a little harder than you have been most of the race. Again, he's kind of one of those drivers that really saves the tires until it's go time. But I say when you got the clean air and you got the track position right like you do right now, you're going to try to hustle this car a little bit. But the problem is, I say, when you've got somebody like Larry Yingling there right behind him, as I say, like he puts down the fastest lap of the race that last time around. So we'll jump off. Also want to jump back though, as you can see Jack Walls, he's able to get around the 21 of Brandon Passalacqua, move Jack now up into that 4th position. And here comes Maxwell Caldwell, going to try to get some of that, got the damage repaired. He's going to try to get back up into the mix as well as he jumps himself back up into that top 5. So we'll hop back on and we'll say we'll watch from the back of that number 17 of Chad Wilkes. As again, just completely under pressure here from the 67 Larry. You can see Larry actually is going to peek to the outside here. We talked about that possibility of trying to get to the outside and keep the momentum up on the top side, where the inside line just can't really keep the power down. And I think that's exactly what we just saw from Larry there. But it looks like at least this time around, that 17 is going to be able to hold him off here. Larry also might have just a little bit of damage to his 67 machine as well. You see a little bit of maybe a left front crinkle as Larry's just all over the back bumper of that 17 of Chad Wilkes. And so just not giving him an inch to breathe here as we have 27 to go. See Larry's peek to the outside. I'll see if he can make it stick. You can see Chad had to get out of it just a little bit, make sure he didn't wash up into 67 of Larry Yingling there through 3 and 4. But again, Chad's able to, it seems like he's got a pretty strong turns 3 and 4. So actually, we'll switch to the onboard of Larry Yingling here, well, for the moment, because it looks like now they're going to trade positions there. And so yeah, it looks like Larry Yingling going to get back to the point here. So that being said, though, Chad's not going to give up. He's going to keep fighting here. But again, I think that nose damage just might be hurting the overall pace of that 17 car just that little bit. We'll jump back here for just a moment. So we got a good battle here going on for the 4th position. Maxwell Caldwell, Jack Walls fighting hard for that spot. You see they've kind of fallen off the top 3 a little bit, so I think that's where the aggression is starting to ramp up from this whole pack. You can see you've got looks like about 10 cars at least in this pack right here. And so when you kind of get in this little bit of a train here, you think you're like, no, I'm definitely going to be the faster car in this group here, but so you can see Maxwell just doing everything he can here to put the pressure on that number 83, but so far Jack has not flinched once here. Oh, you see Jack looks like he really protected the inside a lot there. Let's say Maxwell had to actually get out of the bunch not to get into the back of them. Let's say so really some aggressive driving here. So again, we're just outside of the 20 to go window. I wonder if at some point maybe Maxwell's going to try what we saw Larry do and get to the outside and just prevent the 83 from kind of getting the power down. Of course, the problem on doing that is it kind of puts you susceptible for just if that car washes up into you. We know Maxwell, unfortunately, is out of fast repair, so if he does that, he's going to risk getting some more damage here. So he's going to get to the outside. It looks like he's going to be close to the 83 car. I think he just got it cleared, and he is going to chop right in front of the 83 car and grab that 4th spot. So now his goal is going to be to try to set sail and just kind of put the distance on that 83 car. Back up front, though, you see Ryan Kelly. He's going to get around the 17 and Chad Wilkes hold on to that 2nd position now. Again, I say Ryan's got to make sure he doesn't let that 67 get too far away here. So we always joke about Ryan Kelly being kind of Mr. Long Run. So we say he's got to try to keep that 67 in sight and then try to make something happen. Oh, actually, yeah, I saw a car off pace. It was Robbie Richards. He's got heavy damage. Oh, it also looks like caught out the 33. And the 44. So you got at least 3 cars involved here. So you got Robbie Richards, the 48 James Ledford, and then the 33 of Nicholas Winook here. It's going to bring out a caution with just under 20 to go here. So again, I suspect we're going to see all these drivers here be taking tires for sure. The fuel strategy could come into play though. All right, so you see the Robbie. It looks like this wreck actually started off with turn number 2. You see Robbie Richards. He catches the outside wall there, and unfortunately, the same thing kind of comes into the path of the car in front of him there, which this time was Brendan Pasalacqua. Then, unfortunately for Robbie, just catches the inside wall, and then from there, there's just nothing you can do here, and he's just going to slide unfortunately, right up against the path of the 48 of James Ledford, then the 33 as well. So I think I saw the 33 wind up having to take. Yeah, he took a pretty big ride here as he catches the outside wall. So he got the magical wall hook there, and so that sent that car up and over. So say a little bit of a mistake, not a mistake, but a glitch in the game there, and so say that definitely made the 33 take a harder hit than he probably should have. I'll see Michael Spell in the 88. He looks like he had a moment there as well. So a lot of cars got caught up in this one here as pit stops were just underway and say just completed. And it looks like Larry Yingling going to hold onto that top spot. So what I was mentioning about the fuel strategy here is this is where you could do a little bit of strategy where maybe you don't put fuel in that car, just put a little bit of fuel in it, keep it a little bit lighter, and that could actually maybe help that car. If you're feeling loose a little early on, that might help it to tighten it up a little bit on this potentially final run here. Alright, so with everything that's gone on here, so we'll get a bit of a field rundown here. So right now we still have, it looks like 15 drivers on the lead lap. So as you see on the ticker on the left, of course, where those drivers are running. But say some of the drivers that I haven't had a chance really to talk about too much here. Definitely want to give a shout out to that 14 Paul Patterson. I'd say right now he's holding just outside the top 10 in that 13th position, but he's kept his car clean all race long, and I say he's in a good spot here to try to capitalize here and get a solid top 10 finish if he can keep out of trouble here at the end. So we have mentioned John Brill. John actually back onto the lead lap here after getting some of those getting those wave rounds and lucky dogs. So move John now back up into the lead lap here in the 14th spot. Unfortunately, we do have a couple of retirements. Roy Grandy did retire after his earlier incident. Robbie Richards, Nicholas Winnock, they both just retired here after that last one. And then it looks like Michael Spell, he's getting damage repaired to that car. He is one lap down at the moment. So he's going to be competing for that position with the 44 of Dwight Plesh. Who actually, Dwight's going to take the wave round here. So he was 2 down. He's going to use this wave round to get back to 1 lap down. And I think this is a great strategy by that 44 car here. Because if you can by chance get at least the 1 back, so you don't have to worry about getting that additional lap here, because I don't think we're going to be restarting here with 15 to go. I do not suspect those leaders will be able to catch him an extra lap here in this final 15 laps here. Alright, so we're going to be restarting here again. 15 to go once we get the restart going. Maxwell Caldwell, he's worked his way back up to that 3rd position after that pit stop cycle. A great pit stop for him, a 13.2 stop by his crew. You see, unfortunately, Chad Wilkes, he's fallen back to that 4th position. And front row going to be the 67 and the 13 of Larry Yingling and Ryan Kelly. So we're going to see again, restart here, 15 to go. So I think, again, aggression is going to be ramping up. I think at this point, there's not going to be much tire saving for these drivers. I think they're going to be going full tilt here to the end, try to get everything they can. Larry is down and away. You can see he gets a great restart here. Actually, I think Maxwell Caldwell might have a chance here to battle for that 2nd position. I see the 17 immediately tries to get to the inside line as well. So this is going to be a battle right now for 2nd and 3rd. 2nd's going to get to the 94 car. Now the battle for 3rd between the 17 and the 13. Also right behind him, the 21 and the 83 having a pretty tight battle there as well. Oh, contact between the two of them. Oh, big hits there. see the 17 of Chad Wilkes just spinning around there. And unfortunately, I think Chad had just used his fast repair there, so that car is going to be in really rough shape here. So he's going to get it back going, but that's going to put us back under yellow. And I think from what I saw there, I think we may have just saw Ryan Kelly may have just caught the wall on the exit there, and unfortunately just right into the path of that 17. So we'll take a look here through 3 and 4. And you can see the 13 washing up just a little bit. Yeah, he actually doesn't catch a wall, just gets loose on the exit. And unfortunately for Chad Wilkes, just wrong place, wrong time. And you can see Ryan Kelly, he's trying to save that car as well. But unfortunately for Chad, just bounces him up right across the path there. And you see it's like the 81 of Todd Merkel. He gets a bit of a shot there. And then unfortunately Bud Steele, actually it looks like, again, it looks like both those cars kind of actually able to kind of warp through a little bit here. So those two might get away with it for a better part of what happened there. So say unfortunately though for Chad, he's going to have a lot of damage repaired to that car. However, I do want to take a look for those two that had the potential contact. Todd Merkel, his car looks clean, so I think he's going to get away with it. And then also the 6 of Bud Steele, I think that car is in the same boat there. Both those cars look clean, so I think they're going to get away with this. Say it's one of those things where sometimes the internet sometimes takes away, and sometimes the internet gives you a little bit of a break. And so I think the 81 and the 6 car both got a nice little break there. And we just talked about that 44, Dwight Plesh. It worked out perfectly for him. He stayed out. He is going to get his lap back here. So move the 14 back onto the lead lap. He'll be in the 16th position. But again, he'll be able to get some fresh tires now on that car after taking the wave around on the last time by. So was not eligible to pit there. The next car that's going to be, say, now the only car one lap down at the moment is that 88 here of Michael Spell. So same thing for Michael. He just needs to keep that thing out of trouble, and he'll be able to get get a lap back, get back on the lead lap, as long as if we get another yellow, and as long as he doesn't get caught up in anything. Alright, so we're going to be restarting here with, I think, within 10 to go here, because, yeah, I would say we're at 11 to go now. Lights are still on the pace car, so actually I think we're going to be restarting with 9 to go. Let's say you can see the 17 Chad Wilkes has been getting damage repairs done to that car. I see still a lot of damage to the machine. Unfortunately, you see the whole rear TV panel missing on the back of it, so definitely not what he was looking for there. Was in a good position to try to make a charge there, but unfortunately just wrong place, wrong time. Again, nothing he did wrong. Kind of the same situation when he had that lap car in front of him. Say just not the night he was looking for. Just unfortunately, just has been in the wrong positions at the wrong times for that 17 machine. So on that last restart, we saw a 94 Maxwell Caldwell. He got a great restart. He went from 3rd to second there. Was able to get around that, I believe it was the 13 of Ryan Kelly. So now it's going to be, see if he can get another one of those restarts here. But based on my experience, it's a little harder when you're next to the car that you're going to be trying to battle with versus when you're behind him. So we'll have to wait and see. Say lights are off on the pace truck. So say now it's going to be up to, again, a 67 Larry Yingling. He's going to have control of this restart. So now everybody else behind him is just going to have to try to be as quick on their reflexes as possible. And again, they're also going to have to be careful about not spinning the tires as well, depending on when that 67 goes. Again, it's up to him. So he can go as early as the pace truck as soon as it drops off the racing surface, or he could wait until the green flag flies. So that's where these drivers also definitely need to be on their toes here. All right, pace truck is in. Now we'll wait and see what does the 67 do. He goes earlier this time and gets another great restart here. You can see Maxwell Caldwell trying to stay right onto him. Looks like he's going to hold on to that second position. You see actually Brandon Pasolakis gets a great restart as well. He's going to be able to clear that 13 of Ryan Kelly, so move him up into that third spot. As now, I'll say it's going to be just a charge here at the end of these drivers trying to find their way forward here at the very end of this race. So this is again where everybody's going to be just getting that little extra bit. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we see probably another potential fastest lap of the race by one of these drivers. Just again, just at this point, there's not going to be any tire save. You're going to give it everything you have here. So I'll say this next time by, we'll see what the lap times are looking like and see who's got the pace right now. Because again, it's going to be all about hitting your marks here, lap in, lap out. Last time by, Larry Yingling, actually top 3 driver, top 4. That's pretty wild here. I'm looking at my lap times here, and actually the top 8 drivers all set their fastest laps that last lap there. So to say that everybody's picking up the pace and giving it everything they have is an understatement. As I said, like I mentioned, top 8 drivers all just ran that fastest lap of the race that last time around. So Maxwell Caldwell, actually, he picked up another little bit there, ran his fastest lap of the race that last time around. And you can see he's actually starting to change his line just a little bit here, maybe trying to run a little bit middle, get that arc on the exit. He's going to have to try something and find something here as we have 5 to go here at Dover. Again, there is the potential of a green, white checkered finish, so that will come into these drivers' minds here. So right now, if you're that leader of the Larry Yingling, you're going to be hoping this thing goes green to the end. If you're someone else that's a little further back, you might be hoping for a little bit of an opportunity to have something happen. And we are going to get that opportunity. Unfortunately, I see the 44 Dwight Plush. He is into the inside wall there on the back stretch here. So this will bring out a caution, and this will bring out some pit strategy as well. I'll have to see what these drivers decide to do here. See the 44 Dwight Plush here on the inside through 1 and 2. Is just looking underneath the 90 there of John Brill. And it looks like Dwight may have got just a little loose. You can see the back end starting to step out. I think just having to keep it pinned to the inside a little bit more than he wanted to, unfortunately. And then you can see the car just starting to snap around on him and tries to get it turned back right. You can see the wheel all the way to the right, but unfortunately just going to make heavy contact with that inside wall. And then from there you can see actually heavy contact back to the outside wall there. And then it just bounces right back to the inside again. So that will bring out the caution. So now we got to see about the pit strategies calls up front. And it looks like there is no strategy. Everybody wants to stay on track and keep this track position here. This will give Michael Spell a lap back, though, so that's going to be a big break for him. That's going to put him back on the lead lap. Unfortunately, that is going to put Dwight Plush now at least 1 or more laps down, as he's showing right now. Currently 2 down. One driver that does towards the front decide to make a pit stop was the 13 of Ryan Kelly. Also James Ledford, Chad Wilkes, Paul Patterson are the only leaders here, it looks like, to make a green flag or a pit stop under this caution. Next thing I mentioned is this will put us into our first attempt of a green, white checkered finish, as we are scheduled distance actually would be right now we would be on lap number 99, so we'd be having 2 to go right here. So this one is going to go a little further than the scheduled distance of the race. Again, I don't think it's going to affect anybody on the fuel mileage or anything like that here, but it is to say, so this will open up that potential though for, again, we have up to 3 attempts here, so this is going to be attempt number 1. If we get to the white flag, then from there they will race to the finish. However, if a caution comes out before they get to the white flag, They will try it up to 2 more times, and however, on the 3rd attempt, if there's a caution before the white flag flies, at that point that race will be frozen under the at the time the caution came out, and that will be our finishing result. So for Larry Yingling, his goal here is just to get a really good restart. I'll say again, this is gonna be the curious part though, is gonna be that tire spin. Again, it hasn't been a long run under tires, but every restart's just gonna make it that much riskier for some tire spin for these leaders. Lights are off of the pace truck, so that's going to put it back into the hands of our front row. Larry Yingling again going to be the control car on this restart. Still have 15 cars on the lead lap. Say Michael Spell, as I mentioned, just got his lap back, so he's back into the running here. So now it's going to see who's going to be able to make the late moves here. So right now our biggest climbers of the race, Jack Wall still from 15th to 4th, so great job by him. Jim Brooks has now moved his way up from 17th to 7th. And then also Paul Patterson, that 14 car, he's gone from 20th to 12th in that number 14 machine. Unfortunately, Ryan Kelly, he's lost his track position after that pit stop here. But so you never know how these ones are going to end up. So again, it's going to be all up to that 67 Larry Yingling. He's got to make a good restart here. He's going to have the control of this restart. So as long as he can get the hammer down and try to get a little bit of a gap over Maxwell, we'll see what's going to happen here. Maxwell gets a good restart here. He's not going to lose too much ground to him. You can see it looks like everybody's going to be able to get the power down here safely on the restart. That's the first goal there. So now Larry's goal here is to just try to keep that 94 car at bay for another lap and a half here. As the field here comes through, oh, you see the big wiggle in the back. I think that was 13 of Ryan Kelly. However, it looks like they still stay green for the moment. So now Larry just wants to see this flag stand this time by, and he does get it. So we have 1 to go here at Dover. Larry Yingling over Maxwell Caldwell. This is the battle for the win here, so we're going to stick with them. It's a good battle there for 3rd as well, so we'll try to jump and take a look at that as we get there. But through 3 through 4, Larry's looking like he's got what he's going to need to get this win here tonight. And coming out of turn 4, Larry Yingling is going to pick up the win. Maxwell Caldwell 2nd, Brandon Passalacqua 3rd. And then Jack Walls brings it home in 4th, just over Andrew Pleshy in the 5th position. So it's not a win from the pole for that 67 car, but I say it's going to be a win nonetheless, and it's going to be also, I'm sure, a very enjoyable one for him. Say this will definitely lock up the overall season 6 championship for that 67. However, so we're gonna we'll give him just the old-fashioned winners interview for this time around here for tonight, and we'll get that championship interview for him next week. As you can see, the 13 car Ryan Kelly, he's gonna do a little bit of celebrating there before he jumps out there. However, say Larry Yingling, even with this difficult front stretch here at Dover, he's found a way to get these burnouts done. Well, I say we'll give Larry a bit of a hard time for that burnout there. I say I think Chad as he blows the motor out during the burnout as well. So for good measure, just blows everything up there. I say I would joke about the Chad Canals for those that aren't familiar. There was some drama for if there was some intentional damage done during a burnout. So obviously not the case here with iRacing, but. So it's always a fun one to kind of look back at it for these events. So with that, though, we got to grab our 3rd place finisher, that number 21 of Brandon Passalacqua. So we'll bring that 21 on in here. Started in the 4th position, brings it home in 3rd. So it was a good run for you tonight, Brandon. So obviously not an easy track to get around here tonight, but
no.
Take us through your race, though.
Yeah, it was a hard-fought race for sure. As the race went on, everybody's moves got a lot more aggressive, and I had to drive a lot harder than I wanted to So it was a lot of fun. It got the setup proved to be tight a little bit on the long run, but it was a lot of fun out there tonight. And Gail, it's good to be talking to you back up here. It's been, I don't know, 3 months since season 5 since I got to talk to you, so it's good to be back up here.
Yeah, so you definitely haven't had the stretch you've been looking for. But I mean, you've been in contention a lot of these races. I just unfortunately say we've got some pretty stout competition that you're having to compete with week in and week out. So that definitely makes life a little difficult.
Absolutely.
But I'm saying I feel like was Dover one of those tracks that you maybe had a little bit circled on your calendar? So that was one of the things I was talking to some of the drivers during practice. We were kind of discussing the long run versus short run pace and things of that nature. And one of the first things that I think was actually Larry and Maxwell we were talking to, they mentioned that they remembered last time we were here that you just on the beginning of the race you kind of took off and just ran and hide kind of a thing. So is that something you thought about and you kind of had this one circled?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last time we were here, I started on pole and got led the first third or quarter of the race. And, if I was able to qualify first, that would have been my strategy for sure. But, qualifying fourth, I kind of wanted to see what a long run would. So I wanted to save my tires. And I think if we would have gotten that 35, 40 lap run, you would have seen a lot of different strategies play out and different people move to the front and back. But it's also hard to do that because you have Chad Wilkes and Ryan Kelly, who are absolutely phenomenal drivers and even better at saving tires. So, definitely if I got pole, I would have tried to, stretch the lead as much as possible. Definitely tonight with a lot of caution, so you would have that track position. But for me tonight, I was hoping to get that long run. But either way, I guess it worked out for me.
Yes, as a whole, I mean, it seemed like the race went pretty well. Except, like you said, though, I mean, it was never got the really long green flag run. Definitely had a couple of like 20 or so lap runs. I want to say somewhere in that window. And so we saw there was definitely no strategy call on the tire side of things. To say once pit stops are up and you're getting tires.
For sure.
At the end, were there any thoughts about maybe trying to adjust your fuel a little bit to maybe keep it a little bit lighter to help it not be as loose, or was it actually more of a push loose for the feel for the car?
Yeah, no, I didn't want to try anything too different just because I was doing the same thing all race. I actually decided to hug that bottom line a lot more. With the, I don't know, second to last restart or maybe the one before that, I was in fourth or something, and I kind of drifted up off corner exit, and then Jack Walls got by me on the inside, and so did Maxwell, and I said, I'm not gonna give up the bottom anymore. So I was more in protective mode towards the end than I was to arc and maybe get a better run off corner exit. I was just trying not to let anybody underneath me and just preserve where I was at. I didn't have the pace for Maxwell, Larry, they're phenomenal drivers, so I was just wherever I was at, I was trying to preserve that position.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, it's kind of what you have to do here because, like you said, you open up the door for one, and you're going to have the whole crowd try to follow you through. So, especially when you come to the end of these races, that's what you got to do is to protect those spots and get those solid finishes like you were able to do tonight. So, I mean, a great job tonight, Brandon, grabbing that third place. Definitely want to give you the floor though for any thanks and shouts that I to give for that podium spot.
Yeah, no, I appreciate Green White Checker TV and you, Gal. I watch every broadcast, like I've said many times before, and I generally appreciate what you do for us, Area 51. And then again, to all the admins allowing me to be part of it. I've been able to have a little bit bigger role in things, and it's been great for me, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. And then to all the racers, it's great to have a league where you can come in and have high quality races, right? And that you can race each other hard without getting taken out. And that's just so much fun for all of us. So I just really appreciate all the drivers in the league. It takes a cohesive effort to do that. And I really love the atmosphere and the team that we got here.
All right. Yeah, great run again, Brandon. Say enjoy this one. Say got one more to go here for season 6 next week. Saying that I know you'll be definitely taking the reins over a little bit more on the admin side of things as well. So looking forward to kind of seeing you put your mark on the series here as well. So, but yeah, definitely for now though, enjoy it. Don't worry about the admin stuff until another day.
Sounds good, Gail. Thank you.
All right, that is that 21 of Brandon Passalacqua grabbing that third position here tonight. Started from the 4th spot. Like I said, this was definitely one of his stronger tracks, just based on what we've seen his previous results on. So I kind of had a feeling this might be one that he had circled on his calendar, and so he was definitely able to capitalize on that one this evening. So we got to jump over to our second place finisher, Maxwell Caldwell. Maxwell's up front most of the event here, got the pole position. I know we talked pre-race and you were mentioning you put a lot of laps in here trying to be ready for tonight. Unfortunately, just that one little hiccup, unfortunately, kind of puts you back in track position to hurt your chances at pulling off the win this evening. when you got that contact out of turn number 4 while you were leading there. But as a whole, though, I mean, you definitely had some pretty good pace there at the end. But say it's tough when you got that someone like Larry to try to beat week in and week out. But you made, I mean, that being said, I mean, you had a really awesome recovery drive to get back up into contention at all.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good race. Less cautions than I thought, which in the past, I mean, this track you're going to have cautions, but man, I thought they were pretty spaced out and not too bad. Me and Larry were just kind of playing cat and mouse up front for the first half of the race. I was just hanging out behind him, and he told me he just kept looking in the rear view and just tried to match my pace. We were both trying to save tires. So, I mean, he didn't get a whole lot of practice for the race. So I was just kind of riding. And then I finally got a run on him out of one of the corners. I kept getting beat on pit road just barely. I couldn't get ahead of him with that first pit stall. So I finally got a run out of 3, and I thought I need to take it. If I can get ahead of him, I can start running that same pace, and then we'll get equaled out on tires, and we can just ride here, and I'd have track position on the pit stops from then on out. And then just randomly, and this happened in practice too, you'd go in the corner one time, be fine. The next time, all of a sudden, you would just get extremely tight for some reason. And just right there on the exit, it was turning, and then it's just like it stopped right there coming out of 4. So I kind of smacked the wall, and that was enough to put me back to 4th. But was able to recover, restarted, I think, after pit stops. I even blew my pit stall there after I fixed damage. So that one I restarted, I think, 6th. Kind of had a couple guys that were, well, for lack of better words, kind of blocking all the way down to the inside wall on the backstretch, which I'm kind of not sure about because it kind of impeded process pretty good. Lost probably 2 seconds to Larry and them due to that, and it held people like me and Brandon and some other drivers up pretty bad. So I don't know what kind of that was about, but once I got by there, we got a caution, luckily, got fresh tires, and then from there was just able to kind of ride my line and didn't have to worry about saving tire no more. So I tried to take the pace that I found in practice and brought it home second.
Yes, I mean, did all you could there. Say there's only so much you can do on those late race restarts. Obviously, when when you've got somebody that's able to control those restarts, and kind of then you're kind of just at their mercy to be as quick on the throttle as you can. I say within reason, of course, because with this track and car, you can't really just stomp it, otherwise you're going to spin those rears. But I mean, and what was actually really kind of fun to watch was that not the last restart, but the second to last restart. I commented that every driver in the top 8, I think the second lap after that restart, they all ran their fastest laps of the race there. So you guys were definitely, let's say that aggression definitely picked up there at the very end.
Absolutely, and I'm sitting here actually looking at the results as you say that, and I'm noticing all the laps. Some of them on lap 93, some on lap 94, but either one, it looks like the top 9, 10, top 11 actually hit their fastest lap either on 93 or 94, so that's pretty cool. But and to back up what I said about me and Larry having almost the same pace, Larry had the best lap time of the whole field at a 21.685, and then I'm right behind him at a 21.695. Just a lap after he hit his. So, I mean, we were just sitting there mirroring each other all race long. It was just if I could get the track position on him and get ahead of him, because I let him by early in the race thinking he was going to burn his tires up, but he snookered me. He got by me and then slowed down to my pace. So I was like, oh, man. So if I could have just kept my track position at the start, if I'd have known that, maybe the race could have went different. But all in all, I'm glad to finish second. This is like my worst track ever, I think. And I've normally finished pretty bad and always burnt my tires up. So to actually finish, to get the pole even, and then finish second, that's like a win to me. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah, so and that's one of those things. Like you said, you put the time in, and it definitely paid off tonight. Yeah, definitely. If you ever have the opportunity, I would definitely avoid giving Larry any track position because he'll find a way to make the most of it. But
and see, normally with the track, like I remember so many Area 51 races where he would run fast for like 15 laps, and then he'd drop like a rock back to like 4th or 5th. So I mean, I was just thinking back to that, thinking typical Larry. Like I've known him for years, even way before Area 51, so I know how he drives. And I was like, he's going to burn that right front up. He hadn't practiced a lot. He's going to burn it up. He knew I practiced for 300 laps and watched me and just watched my pace. And I'm like, you little punk, you. No, but I mean, that's just kind of what I expected was him to burn it up, and I just miscalculated that. But again, I will take second here. This track, I just want to get in, get out clean. To have 0 X's, be on the pole, lead a lap, and finish second, I will take it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great result, especially I say it's gonna be a really close run for the second place in the points as well. So it was a pretty good battle there. So, like I said, getting max points as much as you can there. Like you said, the pole, lap led, and then also of course a clean car at the end. That gives you a couple bonus points there as well. So that's gonna really help you there. Try to get as high up in the points as you can here at the end of this season.
And I hate what happened to Chad. It looks like him and Ryan, I think, kind of just got in a little skirmish. I think Ryan said he got really loose off 4 and just, I think it tail smacked Chad to the inside wall, and he had to use that fast repair from that lapped car that kind of got in his way when he was leading that damaged his
Yeah.
car. He had already used his fast repair, so.
Yeah,
No.
unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. Ryan just got bad loose off of 4 and just Chad was at the wrong place at the wrong time and yeah, it was the exact same thing. Like you said, he then unfortunately had to use that fast repair a little earlier when that you guys had that big moment on the backstretch there. And saying but that was definitely not the only one we saw. There's a couple times where that happened in front of some cars. So that's kind of Dover for you though. This track's definitely a handful for everybody here. Doesn't matter where you are on track.
Absolutely. And the whole reason I even bring that up is because I think without that incident, me and Chad, with me getting those bonus points, because he'd led a lap too, I really think we probably could have left here tied for second. Because I think we were only separated coming in by maybe, 3 points, maybe?
Yeah,
3 or
it
4,
was something
2,
like that.
something.
Yeah, it was pretty
So
tight
we could have
there.
almost left here tied going into the last race, and that would have been kind of cool to see who came in second. Larry's done locked it up. He had it locked up before we started the green flag, I think, because we only had, 20 cars, 21, and he has like a 50-point lead, so I don't see that we're going to have that many more at Vegas. So I pretty well guarantee he's probably locked that up now for sure.
Yeah, he's
So it's
definitely
just the battle for second.
yeah. No, so now it's gonna be a great battle for a second. Say I think it's you. Like say I think it's you and Brandon, Chad. So it'll be fun to see where you guys all cycle out. Of course, we'll go over the points before the race next week. Yeah, say Larry's definitely got it locked up now, especially after tonight. I know he's I say we won't worry about that interview. Yeah, we'll just do the winner's interview for him. I think he's recovering from a little bit of a surgery, so spare him a little
How
bit
about
of
that?
speaking.
Recovering from surgery and then comes in and wins the race and dominates like that. Attaboy to Larry. That's dedication, man.
Yeah.
Surgery on Monday, comes in here and whoops everybody on Thursday.
He's a machine. That's for sure. But yeah, so I definitely enjoy this one though, Maxwell. I'll say that being said though, of course, before I let you go though, definitely want to give you the floor though. Any thanks shouts you'd like to give for that second place run tonight?
Oh man, just for my teammates. Good to have Ryan Kelly back with us. Dover machine. Really, he was running really, really well and just kind of got in a skirmish with Chad. And then after that, I think I might have been the one that accidentally faked him down pit road. He went to come out and I thought he almost smacked the barrels, but it was good to have Ryan racing with us again. So much fun with him. And I've learned a lot as far as tire conservation and just pure speed, even a place like Dover from Ryan. He's really kind of helped me out a lot, especially last year when we were battling. We were helping each other the whole time. So good to have him back with us. And then Chad and Andrew and Larry, just kind of the team back together. It was kind of really nice to have all 5 of us again. Good laughs, good fun, and just good hour of racing and just having a good time. And just thankful for my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who, has done so much for me and allows me to be here to race every week. So thankful for that, and thankful for the broadcast, man. You do an absolutely fantastic job, and it just keeps getting better and better.
I appreciate it, Max. I'll say it's a lot of fun. I'll say you guys make it a lot of fun to be a part of as well. So I look forward to carrying it on, obviously next week and then into season 7 as well. So enjoy it though. Like I said, enjoy your guys there, and look forward to catching you next week. And we'll see how that battle winds up for that second spot.
Absolutely, thank you, sir.
All right, so now we got to jump over to that race winner. We'll go back lap here. We'll get the full burnout here for that 67 of Larry Yingling. Pull in our race winner here. Larry starting from the 3rd position, so able to bring it home in that top spot. It was kind of a little bit of a battle there between you and Maxwell, you and Chad at one point. But I'll say everybody looks like everybody got caught up in a little bit of something at one point in that race, and say for the most part, I think you kept that car clean to the end there, and say once you got that clean air on those late race restarts, I'll say you from there, so you kind of do what you do best there and able to put this one away.
Yeah, that was a really fun race for me. The battle with Chad and Maxwell, and I think there's another battle I'm forgetting right now, but I'm sure I sound horrible right now after my surgery, thyroid surgery. That's in the neck and throat area for anyone that doesn't know, and I could not move. I had to not move my neck whatsoever during the whole race just to feel comfortable. And Try not to get too loose in the corners, so I don't have to move my arms much. Um, just of all tracks I had to come after surgery, this had to be Dover. But the biggest thing tonight, I don't know how I don't know if you caught on broadcast, but there was a lap car that got sideways in front of the leaders, and I somehow squeezed through him next to the inside wall, and I saw him coming down. I thought it was a goner, but I opened my eyes, and I'm still on track, and just kept going.
Yeah, no. So you definitely barely squeezed through. Like you said, you had to go all the way to the inside wall, and then you also a little earlier before that too, where Maxwell caught the wall off of 4. You had to pretty much get quick on the brakes there to try not to get into the back of him to save yourself from getting any damage there as well. Saying because I at some point I noticed like, well, wait a second, why is Larry under attack from all these guys? What happened? And so we went back and took a look, and it's like, oh, okay, just quick reactions from your part, and so say able to kind of save the damage to the nose of your car because. We saw what happened with Chad there when he had the nose damage after that contact. That you could see the pace loss from there. So I think that quick reaction from you avoiding the 94 also really came into play come the end of race time as well.
Yeah, I somewhat got into Maxwell's left rear when he got on that wall. Luckily, I noticed the angle of his car in the middle of 3 and 4 when he got on back on the gas. I knew if he stayed in it like that, he wouldn't really make it. So I was already prepared to have to lift, and once I heard him lift, I slammed the brakes. Then I had to pay attention to my mirror and see where Chad and all of them are, so I don't get ran over by them either.
Yeah, no, you did a really good job tonight, Larry. Say put yourself in the right place at the right time, and I'll say once you had that control and once it's kind of go time, you do what you do best, and say put in the best lap of the race towards the end of that. I think it was the second to last restart. We're commenting with Maxwell as well, where I think pretty much it sounds like the whole top sounds like maybe top 10, top 11 or so all ran their fastest laps of the race on that second to last restart within a lap or two of it. So I say once it was time to go, you guys definitely stepped on it there. I say, but again, I definitely want to spare your voice as much as you can. I say glad you're back, glad everything went well. So, but saying we'll do the official ceremonies and all that for you after next week's race while you got some more time to recover. So I'll give you let you do any thanks shouts you'd like to give, and then I'll let you rest up a little bit, sir.
I definitely want to shout out my teammates this race: Maxwell Caldwell, Andrew Paleschi, Ryan Kelly. Good to have him back. He had me worried middle of the race. So I looked in my mirror and I saw him coming up to me. I'm like, oh boy, there goes my chance. But a caution came out and other stuff happened to put him back. And Chad Wilkes, and thank you for the broadcast as always, and everyone for the league for putting this stuff on, and looking forward to Vegas.
Yeah, I'll say be able to go to Vegas, no pressure, obviously. So I'll say enjoy though. I'll say enjoy the win. I'll say rest up, and I'll say look forward to catching you next week.
Thank you, sir.
That is our race winner, that's 67 of Larry Yingling getting the win tonight here at Dover. So again, Larry's been on a tear here. Even if he doesn't win at Vegas, he'll have already locked up half the wins of the season. He's got 6 out of 11. Again, top 5s in every race so far this season as well. So Larry's just been getting the job done week after week, keeping himself in contention for these great finishes and also staying out of trouble as well, as we saw him do a couple of times this evening. So I definitely want to give Larry a big shout out for that, and say like you mentioned as well, just coming out of surgery as well and still being able to get the job done here as well. So hopefully quick and full recovery for you, Larry. Hope everything went smoothly, and definitely look forward to catching you next week at Las Vegas. So congrats again to all the drivers. I'll say everybody did a really nice job. Dover had some cautions. That's kind of an expected thing to have here with this track. It's just it bites you. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are. It's going to find a way to get you one way or the other. However, before we let everybody go, we got to go over our final results here. So again, we talked to our top 3. Obviously, Larry Yingling, Maxwell Caldwell, Brandon Passalacqua getting our top 3 positions. Jack Walls, though, 15th to 4th tonight, so great job by that number 83 machine. Andrew Pleshy, he was able to work his way back up into that top 5 after the damage he had to his car towards the end of that event. Todd Merkel, solid 6th place finish in that number 81. I say right on cue as he passes through on the background of the picture there. David Payton recovers nicely to bring it home back in 7th position. Jim Brooks goes from 17th to 8th spot in that number 76 machine. Bud Steele in 9th. And rounding out the top 10 was that number 13 of Ryan Kelly. Then we have 11th through 20th here. James Ledford in the 11th spot. John Brill, solid finish there in that 12th position. Started 19th, worked his way up into that 12th spot. Then you got Michael Spell in 13. Chad Wilkes, unfortunately, just wrong place, wrong time. He's going to end up 14th after it's all said and done. Paul Patterson stays on the lead lap all race. So you can see Interval fell back a little bit there at the end, but again, a great result for him, keeping that car clean and getting back all the way there back to the end. And 16th through 20th, some of the drivers didn't have the nights they were looking for, including Dwight Plush, Corey Lane, Nicholas Winook. We saw him go for a ride when that wall grabbed him and didn't let go. And then Robbie Richards, unfortunately, caught up in a couple of incidents, as well as that 18 of Roy Grandy. So with that, that is our second to last race here for Season 6 with the Area 51 Racing League. Say congrats again for our race winner, Larry Yingling, and our top 3 this evening, Maxwell Caldwell and Brendan Pastelacqua. Say we'll be back again on Sunday for the same thing, second to last race for the Super Speedway Cup Series. And then next week, it will be the finales, season finale for all 3 series, the Indy cars on Tuesday, Cup cars here on Thursday, and of course the Super Speedway Cup Series on Sunday. So definitely look forward to being a part of that. Definitely try to jump on if you can. It's going to be some pretty close battles between, for sure, between the Sunday and the Tuesday series of the Indy and the Super Speedway Cup Series. Say Larry's got this one locked up for the title here for the Cup Series. However, it's going to be a really tight battle there for that second spot between a handful of drivers there at the end. So until, of course, until Sunday, hope you all have a wonderful evening. Happy Friday Eve. And as always, if you can, please try to stay home, stay safe, wash your hands. And until next time, have a good night.